Just in, a ruling to determine the fate of a local high school football team, the latest and reaction. Plus, an accused killer is on his way back to Baton Rouge from a Florida jail.
Enjoy another beautiful day around the area. I'll let you know if it continues into the weekend.
Now, from Louisiana's News Channel, this is 9 News at Noon.
Thanks for being with us, folks. I'm Gerron Jordan in for Lauren Westbrook. We've got a lot to get to this afternoon, and we begin you with this breaking news. East Baton Rouge deputies have swarmed the scene of a shooting in the Gardier area. It happened on Amy Drive around 11 a.m., so really within the last hour. We have very few details at this moment. We know one person was shot, possibly a woman. No word on her condition or if anyone has been arrested. We do have a crew at that scene right now, and we'll pass along any updates as we get them. Now to new developments to a story we first broke on WAFB.com. One of the men accused of killing a well-known Baton Rouge couple, Ernesto Alonso, is on his way back to Baton Rouge from Florida, where he was arrested. Karen Chawla has been following the story from the beginning. She joins us now with the latest. Karen.
Well, Gerron, Ernesto Alonso is the man who is considered to be the prime suspect in the Duplanche murders. His accomplice is Frank Garcia, and he remains in prison in Florida. Now, Alonso was arrested in Hollywood, Florida, just 2 days after the Duplanches were found killed. He was arrested as a fugitive from Louisiana and was being held in Florida ever since because he did not waive extradition. Instead, Governor Jindal had to ask the Florida governor, that is, to issue an order to send Alonso back to Baton Rouge. Alonso is believed to have known the couple, worked even some odd jobs around for them, and even lived on their property. Police have also said the couple had recently bought him a truck. Now, Dennis and Suzanne Duplanche's bodies were found in a truck on October the 19th at a truck stop in Hammond. Officials believe their bodies had been there nearly a whole day before they even found them because family members were worried they had not heard from the couple. Through investigation, Baton Rouge police also found that Alonso allegedly broke into their home on Highland Road in the capital city, forced his way into taking a very large sum of money out of their safe, kidnapped the couple, drove them to Hammond where they were found strangled. Now then, nearly a month after, on November the 18th, another suspect, Frank Garcia, was arrested also in Hollywood, Florida. Now, both Alonso and Garcia were arrested at Garcia's Florida home. Police were able to name Garcia as a suspect because his truck and cell phone were found to be traveling in and out of Baton Rouge at the same time that the Duplanches were taken to Hammond. Garcia is still behind bars in Florida, waiting for local police to go pick him up. Now, when Alonso arrives in Baton Rouge, he will be booked into the East Baton Rouge Parish Prison, where he will be charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder, 2 counts of second-degree kidnapping, and unauthorized entry. When Garcia returns to Baton Rouge, he will face the same charges. So stay with us at WAFB and WAFB.com for the latest on when Alonso does make it here. We will keep you completely updated. Gerron?
Thank you, Karen, for that. Detectives in West Baton Rouge are investigating a shooting at a store that sent at least one person to the hospital. Take a look. This was the scene around 10 o'clock last night at the Dollar General on LA 1 between Port Allen and Bruley. Our crew on the scene did see one person being carried away there on a stretcher. At this hour, it's unclear, though, if the victim was shot in or near the store. Once we get more details, we'll be sure to pass along any updates, again, on air or online. New at noon, this man, 49-year-old Thomas Davis, is charged with manslaughter after investigators say he stabbed a man to death. It happened around 3 weeks ago at a home on Lone Oak Drive. Baton Rouge police say the victim, 32-year-old Jody McCrae, tried to attack Davis with a hammer. That's when Davis allegedly stabbed McCrae. Police say the stabbing is not self-defense, though, because surveillance video shows Davis continuing to stab McCrae after he dropped the hammer. Davis is in parish prison on a $50,000 bond. Well, just in, a ruling in a case to determine if a local high school will be allowed to play a big playoff game tonight, even after they were suspended for fighting. That case was to be heard in district court this morning. Greg Merriweather was there, but Greg, there was some type of issue.
Yeah, it was an issue right from the very start, Gerron. The case never really got going this morning. Judge Bill Morvan said his court just didn't have the power to step in and decide things. And with that, Amite High's season is over. Amite High's coach did not want to talk this afternoon or this morning as he left the courthouse. You'll see some cell phone video. Here it is of the fight that ended the Amite-Bogalusa game. Now, Amite won the game and moved on to the semifinals, but the High School Athletic Association stepped in and suspended both teams for fighting. So that means Amite High appealed the decision and then lost the appeal, so they took it to court. But the judge never heard the case because he says he just doesn't have the power to do so.
No, I'm afraid this is the end of the season for Amite High School. And it's a sad thing because I think those young men had a great chance to become state champions.
We hope that it teaches that this can't happen. Parents can't come out of the stands. Kids can't run onto the field. Let the officials do their job. Let the coaches do their job. And ultimately keep these kids safe.
Now, the game was supposed to be tonight, so now St. James will automatically advance to the state championship in the Dome. Gerron.
Lots of folks paying attention to that story. Thank you, Greg.
Thank you.
Staying with high school football, our 9 sports team is fanned out across South Louisiana for the semifinals and, of course, in the Superdome as state championships are on the line. We'll have all the action tonight on Sportsline at 10:25. Well, we're just hours away from the start of the capital city's oldest holiday tradition. We're talking about the Festival of Lights in downtown's Town Square. That's where city leaders will host the annual lighting of the Christmas tree. But that's not all. There's also going to be fireworks and ice skating. Admission and parking inside the River Center garages are free. The fun goes from 4 until 9 tonight. And meteorologist Steve Caparata says that there is some good weather for all of the holiday festivities happening around South Louisiana this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely gorgeous outside right now. If you're going to be out tonight, kind of feeling like the holidays, it'll be dry, so couldn't ask for much more on a Friday in South Louisiana. Looking at temperatures right now in the 50s again statewide. So again, even with plenty of sunshine, a little bit on the cool side, these temperatures are a bit below normal for the date. 57 now in Baton Rouge, pretty comfortable outdoors, that is. 56 in Gonzales, 54 New Road. So most of us mid to upper 50s outside right now. Rolling through the remainder of the afternoon. We'll top it out around 60 or so with plenty of sunshine. Now, as Gerron mentioned, the Festival of Lights gets underway at 4 o'clock. We'll be in the upper 50s, and then as we work our way into the evening, temperatures will fall into the 40s. So if you are headed downtown, no concerns with rainfall, but certainly have the sweaters and jackets ready to go. And the drop will continue into the overnight under clear skies. Another cold night ahead. Here's what we'll be talking about coming up in a few minutes. Another beauty today. But what about the forecast for the Festival of Lights? We'll have that in a little more detail. And your weekend outlook. Does the beautiful weather continue? I'll have much more on that in just a few. Gerron.
Steve, thank you. Investigators have not yet figured out a motive behind Wednesday's deadly shooting in Southern California. But as Chris Martinez reports, there's new information that connects at least one of the suspects to terrorists.
CBS News confirms that shooting suspect Tashfeen Malik pledged her allegiance to ISIS on Facebook. Malik and her husband, Saeed Rizwan Farouk, are accused of the deadly rampage this week in San Bernardino. The couple's relatives say the massacre caught them by complete surprise.
It's just mind-boggling why they would do something like this.
Farouk's sister and brother-in-law are angry and saddened and say they're now left wondering if they could have prevented the tragedy.
I asked myself if I had called him that morning or the night before, asked him how he was doing, what he was up to. If I had any inclination, maybe I could have stopped it.
The suspects died in a shootout with police. Officers say they found enough firepower in their home for more attacks. Investigators are looking into the possibility Farouk's wife radicalized him. The couple was engaged in 2013 after Farouk traveled to Saudi Arabia for a religious pilgrimage. We're beginning to get a glimpse of the 14 people killed in this as family and friends share stories about their loved ones. Jennifer Thalasino says her husband Nicholas was deeply devoted to his Messianic Jewish faith.
He was so kind to everybody, so he was very chivalrous.
Friends say Daniel Kaufman was always smiling.
When things were starting to get to you, Daniel would show up and it was like...
He'd pull some stunt and make you laugh.
In addition to the fatalities, more than 20 people were injured, several of them still in critical condition. Chris Martinez, CBS News, San Bernardino, California.
Meanwhile, people around Louisiana are doing what they can to protect themselves. But when it comes to getting a conceal and carry permit, what should you know? Jade Cunningham has some answers.
So far, Louisiana has had its fair share of conceal and carry permits.
Year to date in 2015, the state of Louisiana has issued over 15,000 concealed handgun permits so far this year.
Think about a revolver.
Certified firearm instructor David Ramey says he's seeing more people wanting a permit, especially after a situation like what happened Wednesday in San Bernardino.
Usually after those events, we see a upswing a lot of times in people making the decision that maybe they want to do this now.
Pamela Pritchard recently made the choice to conceal and carry.
I wasn't interested in guns at all until my husband semi-retired. I don't know that I'll ever put it on me, but if I went into an area where I felt uncomfortable, I probably would.
According to Louisiana State Police, between 1996 and 2014, Jefferson Parish had the second highest conceal and carry permits in the state. The first, East Baton Rouge. But no matter where you are, instructors warn getting a permit is a decision that shouldn't be made lightly.
Because you're deciding to carry a lethal instrument on your hip at all times, or whenever you decide to carry it.
And if you do pull the trigger, what's next?
Whether it was a justified situation or not, there's going to be an investigation.
And that was Jade Cunningham reporting. Well, next at noon, we have holiday lights for you and Wi-Fi. Could all of those festive decorations be hurting your download speeds? Plus, and a recall. Thousands of car owners are having a hard time to get replacement parts, but there might be a better way. Stay